So once in a while, I get a comment that looks something like this. Hey, you have a full head of hair. I thought you were bald. Well, before I get straight into this, I'm gonna, shave my head. Or that's what I did last year. But, a lot of people, when I tell them, I'm balding, they're like,
no, you're not. You're not losing hair. You have a full head of hair. I don't know what you're talking about.
But they're not the ones that has to look at themselves every darn day in the morning. And, the more I looked at my hairline, the more I realized, oh my God. And the more I just remember every day just being like obsessive about it to a point where it was like almost OCD, where I would look in the mirror, count the fingers and see whether or not my hairline was growing back. On top of that, I started to realize, wait a minute, my grandpa, when he was alive, he was bald. My uncles are all bald. And my dad is starting to lose his hair. And I'm like... And it hit me. And for me, at that, time and age, I thought the world was going to end. As a young guy, and I'm already short as is, I'm short and bald, I was like, no! No! So if you're wondering if I'm balding or not, yes, I'm actually, having a maturing hairline, or my hairline is starting to recede. And if you can just look here, zoom in for you. You can see here that, it's starting to thin out a little bit here, and my hair, believe it or not, did not have this peak here, and it did not used to peak here. My hairline used to actually be here, and this was a lot fuller. But you're like, that's nothing, there's guys out there that have, no hair completely here or whatever. But the reality is, yes, I'm actually losing my hair. And this was, for me, the scary time when I realized this was that, oh shoot, I'm mortal, I'm getting old, I'm dying just like everyone else. And, you think, one of the things that you as a human, you're like, oh, I'm gonna have hair forever. But, genetics screws you over on top of being short. And this was a time, 2-3 years ago, I was like super sad about it. I was obsessed. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wear a hat, screw this, and all of that. So you're wondering, why do I have hair now? Why did I decide to grow it out when I shaved it back then? Because, I wanted to deal with it when I'm in my 20s. So if I shave my head now and deal with it, once I hit 30, 40, 50, or whatever that day comes where, I can't, have a proper hairline anymore and I have to shave my head, I'm not gonna freak out. Because guess what? I already freaked out when I was in my 20s and I dealt with it then. And that was one of the main reasons why I decided to shave my head and accept, the fact that, yeah, might not be, next week, might not be next month, but the reality is I'm gonna be bald and I'm just gonna deal with that. But, I decided to grow my hair out because, let's face the facts, I wanna enjoy having my long, awesome samurai hair while I still can, and I wanna enjoy every minute of it. And when it's gone, it's gone. And for me, it took me, a little bit of time to realize that, yeah, it's not the end of the world. And, hey, if Krillin can get all the babes, I'm sure I can too. And, it's one of the reasons, it kind of like a slap in the face of life. And it realizes, life is short. You gotta love yourself because you only got one, and you can't, obsess over the petty things. Yeah, I can get pills, I can get surgery and like manipulate this and all that and get tattoos done here. But at the end of the day, all you gotta do is just embrace it. And embracing and acceptance when it comes to anything is the first step to actually loving yourself. And yeah, I know it's a bunch of hippie talk, but that is one of the reasons why I decided to, grow my hair back. And future video, maybe next week, maybe next month, I'm gonna have my yearly shave my head off video. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Doses!